Whatever your purpose is, therefore, it will be important to realize that this purpose is often greater than you as an individual. And because of that, therefore, one of the areas we as women sometimes fall short is stepping out of our comfort zone to network with all the stakeholders to make this purpose a reality. Then the question begs, then how do you find out your purpose? And I'll give a short excerpt about Mother Teresa. And she had joined a particular congregation, the Loreto Sisters. And I think she was in a train ride, and she looked out of the window and she saw a very, very poor man by the street or by the roadside. And that really moved her, because that really hurt her in her very depth of her soul. And she left her congregation and set up another congregation to help the poor in society. And you can see that legacy still lives on. But even as we aspire to achieve our purpose, our vision, we have to make sure that it actually has impact, so that we lift other people up. As we come up with innovative strategies to lift up our society, these strategies have to be by the people, for the people, and owned by the people if it's to have the impact that it should.
The days of women going on streets and saying, give us our rights, fight for our rights, and sort of putting aside the men and not going to work. They worked for those days, and we want to thank the women like, Mother Karugu, who have really fought for that space. But the second generation of liberation will come from strategic conversations with the men that we have. They will come from having diplomatic conversations with men. Because if you try and do it the activist way, you will not achieve. The fact that we went out and became activists about gender equality then put us to where we are today. The male counterparts started looking at us as fighters, that all we want to be given. I was listening to Parliament debating the 2/3 gender rule, and they were saying, these women just want to sit pretty, and they want to be gotten from home, and they are brought, na wanabembelezwa, mami tafadhali, kuja, tukupatie, tukunominate, alafu pia tutakupatia gari kubwa na bodyguards. That's what they said in Parliament. But that is a reaction of the first generation of women fighters who went out and said, we are going to fight the men. The second generation of women fighters are women like me who have decided to have strategic conversations with these men. Get to know what you want, where you want to plug in, look for whoever it is. It more than likely will be a man. Do not look at them and confront them with the fists, but more with a rationale and a conversation around how can we help each other? How can we merge your cause and my cause? Because the two causes are going to be beneficial to our people. And there are many life lessons I have learned in public life. Lesson number one, there is no free lunch. There is no, ladies, there is no free lunch. I know ladies are the kind of people who perhaps are not used to picking up the bill when it comes to the table, because we are used to free lunches. But as you go on, especially in public life, there is no free lunch. Do not expect anything to be given to you on a silver platter because you're beautiful, because you're a woman, or because your child is in hospital, or because you're pregnant, and therefore you think that the world needs to stop. The world will not stop. So if you then want to be a stay-home man, and that is your purpose, be a good mother, stay at home, and be extremely good at that. If you want to scale the heights in corporate Kenya, if you want to get into government, deliberately begin to work towards it. Number three, build the right networks and the right connections. Build networks and connections. And it is not wrong to have a sponsor, ladies. I'm going to tell you that. I know there's been this story about... I'm telling you, and I'm being honest. But the kind of sponsor I am talking to you about is not a sponsor to pay your bills and to fuel your car and one to do your hair and the other. You know that nonsense that goes on, no? No, get somebody who speaks, and a sponsor can also be a female. I know I have sponsored a few other women. A sponsor is somebody who talks about you in the right forums, behind your back, and puts in a good word. it is perfectly okay to have a sponsor. And make sure that that person sits in the right table, so that when discussions are had of who exactly is doing ABCD, who exactly is in this space and really touching the lives of people, your name will come up.